At first glance, nothing seems unusual until you realize the queen doesn't belong to this colony. Welcome to another episode of Ant Colony Diaries, here on Vaina de Hormigas. I am Oni Raigeki, and today we are beginning the story of one of the most fascinating ants ever featured on this channel. This is Aphaenogaster Tennesseensis. Unlike most queens, her colony didn't begin alone. Instead, her story started inside the nest of another ant species. What you are seeing here is the result of one of nature's more extraordinary survival strategies, and today we'll discover how it all began. Everything started on July 11, 2026, during a hike through a wood trail near my home with my friend Apple. Our goal that day was to search for colonies of Aphaenogaster rudis and Aphaenogaster piscia. Inside one of those Aphaenogaster rudis nests, something immediately caught our attention. Among the dark worker was a small reddish queen that clearly didn't look like the others. After realizing what we had found, I carefully collected one of those queens together with several host workers and part of the brood. At the moment, we had no idea we are witnessing the beginning of such an incredible story. Aphaenogaster Tennesseensis belongs to a remarkable group of ants that practice temporary social parasitism. Instead of raising their first workers alone, newly mated queens infiltrate colonies of closely related species. Once accepted, the host workers unknowingly care for the parasite queen and raise her brood as if it were their own. In many areas, Aphaenogaster rudis is one of the natural host species used during this process. This strategy dramatically increases the young queen's chances of surviving the difficult founding stage. Only a few days later, something extraordinary happened. New workers began emerging. But these workers looked noticeably different from the original Aphaenogaster rudis hosts. Their reddish coloration strongly suggests that we are now seeing the first biological daughters of the queen herself. From this point forward, the colony will slowly begin changing from the inside. Today, the colony lives inside a small formicarium connected to a permanent hydration module. Rather than focusing on the construction itself, the goal is simple: provide stable conditions while the colony continues developing naturally. As the number of biological daughters increases, this setup should allow us to observe one of the most fascinating transitions in ant biology. And if you would like to see a future episode of Nest Lab explaining how this setup evolves and the improvements made along the way, let me know in the comment. Over time, the original Aphaenogaster rudis workers will gradually disappear. In their place, the biological daughters of Aphaenogaster Tennesseensis will become the colony's new workforce. What makes this journey so remarkable is that we are able to document that transformation from the very beginning. If you would like to understand why Aphaenogaster rudis plays such an important role in this story, be sure to watch its series here in Ant Colony Diaries. And if you would like to follow every stage of this extraordinary transformation, stay with us as this colony slowly becomes one built entirely by the queen's own daughters. Because some queens build a colony, but others begin by inheriting one.